Leah Metzger, our first guest of the night. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can.
Perfect, perfect. So Leah is a senior. She's from Ashland and a biology major for the Yellow Jacket women's golf team, which I just mentioned, unfortunately, not able to compete this past weekend.
Yeah.
That's just kind of the nature of the beast in Northeast Ohio this time of year.
Yeah,
Snow on the ground
exactly.
right now. How do you try to mentally stay sharp when you're in season and you may play, you may not on any given day?
I mean, yeah, it's hard to figure it out with the weather, so it's just more of just staying focused, especially because you never really know, especially in the spring, what kind of weather you're going to get. It might be sunny one minute and then the next minute it's downpour, so just being able to stay focused and just play your best and focus on what matters.
Yellow Jackets are doing everything they can to build up to the OAC Championships, which are going to be down at River Greens Golf Course in West Lafayette, hosted by Muskingum. That's coming up in late April, the 22nd, 3rd, and 24th. In the meantime, you guys did have one match here already in the spring season after competing in the fall. Had a chance to play in the Pioneer Classic hosted by Marietta.
Yeah.
How much is that first opportunity to compete in the spring about just trying to get back into a rhythm after a couple months of probably not playing a whole lot?
Yeah, it's definitely tough, especially because we are an outdoor sport, so it's very hard to be able to practice outside and get to learn how to play in those conditions, and especially for some of our younger players who have never played in the spring, it's definitely a big change. So especially with the weather we've been having recently, we really weren't able to get out and practice in the right conditions until a week or two before. So it was definitely interesting, but I think we did a pretty good job considering a lot of our players, again, haven't played in those conditions. And I think if we just keep practicing, we'll be able to get out there and do even better.
Second-year head coach Andrew Edgar leading the program now, and I suppose there's always that honeymoon phase early on. You got a new coach, you're trying to figure out how you fit on his roster, and he's probably trying to figure out what he has in the team. But now that it's a second year in the program and they're a little bit more of a feel for each other, give me your impressions of Coach.
Well, I know he came my sophomore year, so I had only had 1 year with the previous coach, and so it was kind of still a new experience for me as well. And I knew immediately after the first practice that he was going to be a really good coach for me and for all of us. And then that year it happened to where I played in my first tournament of the season, and I ended up shooting my career low, so I was pretty pumped for the season.
Absolutely.
And then I ended up having an injury 2 days after that tournament, so I wasn't able to play the remainder of fall. And Coach was really supportive and was willing to do whatever he could to help me out, even though we barely knew each other. And that's also kind of how I knew that he was not only supportive in our golf game and how we play as a team, but how we gel as a team and how we all have to kind of look out for each other in especially times like those.
Give me an idea of some of the places you really like to compete up in Northeast Ohio, because I think one of the things that's particularly enjoyable, even just on the recreational side, let alone the competitive side, there's a lot of really, really good, accessible golf courses that aren't terribly expensive to the general public. I don't think Northeast Ohio gets enough credit. Maybe it's just because the golf season tends to be a little shorter. But the quality of course in Northeast Ohio has been really good.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I really enjoy some of the golf courses that we play out as a team, for tournaments. We're going to John Carroll in a couple weeks at the Country Club of Hudson, and that's one I really enjoy playing at because it's really nice there, and it's a pretty easy course, I would say, especially for people who aren't as experienced. And even just around here, we practice at Mallard Creek in Columbia Station, and while it's not as a high of quality, of course, it's definitely very accessible for, again, people who aren't as experienced. It's a 36-hole golf course, so you can play whichever you want per day, and there's not a whole lot of different hazards and things that you can get yourself into trouble a lot with. So it's definitely a good course for people who are just starting out or people who haven't really honed in their game yet to play at.
How about for maybe high school golfers who might be considering a chance to come to BW and, you know, pursue their academics, but also considering playing college golf? You know, I think maybe there's this stigma around, well, if you're going to play college golf, you should go south because the weather's warmer, you're going to play more frequently, et cetera, et cetera. What would you tell somebody that might be considering looking at a school in the north and why it could be beneficial for them?
I mean, for me personally, I definitely, this was like the one golf program I was really, really into when I was looking at different schools. I was looking personally more around the north area in general just because I really like the Cleveland area and that's just kind of where I wanted to go. But I looked at a few different golf programs in general, and BW really stuck out to me because it just seemed like everyone like really got along, and we were able to do things not just at the golf course, but we were like able to like do things outside as well. And it was a pretty relaxed environment, which is something I was really looking for personally, because like when you get up to like D2 and D1, it gets pretty intense, and
Sure.
especially like with doing tournaments, at least for us, we try to only do tournaments on the weekends, or if we do them during the week, it's usually like maybe one a semester. So like this year we're doing a Thursday tournament up in Adrian, and so we try to not miss a lot of school, which is definitely something I think that if you're looking more into being able to do academics like really well as well and have that good blend of both, I definitely think a D3 school in the Northeast is something you should look into.
I know you guys probably don't draw a lot of crowds outside of your family and friends, but if folks did want to come out and watch you guys, what do you think they would see? What is it about your team that, you know, the camaraderie with you and your teammates, the fact that it's both a individual sport but also a team sport and kind of the unique nature of that. What would draw people out to want to come watch you guys play?
I think just the experiences that we're able to share together, we definitely take that to heart, and we are able to, again, since it is an individual sport and a team sport, we are able to support each other in that way to where we like don't, if we do not do as well one day, like our team is fully supportive and are able to pick each other back up. And just at least when I and the rest of my team go out, it seems like we always have a really good time no matter how good or bad we do that day. And I know one thing that we do differently than most schools is whenever we play where it's not a shotgun start and you all start and so you're all back to back, the people that start first, they wait for everyone to finish, and we're always all there. And that's something that even other teams in the OAC have always complimented us on, and like really acknowledged that we're always there to support everyone on our team, no matter if you're on the varsity spots, the top 5, or an individual. You all matter in our team, and we all support each other. That's
really cool.
Thank you.
Cool. I know you guys had a chance to host a fall tournament over at Valley of the Eagles in Elyria. What tournament are you most looking forward to outside of the OAC championships here this spring?
I mean, I personally was looking forward to Tannenhof, but again, that couldn't happen, so that was a little disappointing.
Sure.
But I am really looking forward to going up to Adrian because we've never been up there, and we don't really play with them that much unless they're at a tournament that we happen to go to. So
Sure.
I think just getting to go to a different state and going to travel up there is going to be really cool, and we all really like their teams, so it'll be fun if we get to play with them too.
Yeah, that'd be great. I want to ask you a little bit about the academic side,
Okay.
and you know, obviously the golf is a really cool component of your experience at BW,
Yes.
but You know, the vast majority of Division III golfers are not going to take it professionally.
Exactly.
It's a great extracurricular, a way for you to make friends and go out and compete and enjoy that. But you've got other things that you're interested in as well. How about with the biology studies? What are you hoping to do there?
So I am not planning on going to grad school at this point. I'm trying to just go into getting a job. So I actually have a couple job offers lined up, so I'm still trying to decide between those. I should hopefully have made a decision sometime this week. So I'm looking to stay more in the Northeast area, so I'm either going to be working at Case Western or at the Cleveland Clinic in a research job. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Those are great spots.
Thank you.
I wish you well and hope it's a fun season. How about some of your teammates who are playing well? What would a Yellow Jacket fan might want to know about some of your teammates?
So I think that all my teammates are really great people, and they are really, we're really gifted in the way where we are able to focus on school and golf at the same time, and so we have a pretty good team GPA too. So I would say we're really good at keeping both of those to where they are both of our priorities, but we're able to not have one slack off more than the other.
How about Mary Fraley, your senior classmate, and then we'll talk about Kelly in a second. What do you most admire about Mary's game?
I think that she is really admirable in the way that she goes out and just does her best every single time. And again, she's really admirable in that way to me.
Awesome. And how about Kelly Lineberry?
I would say the same. No matter how she does one day, she doesn't give up, and she'll go out the next day and do even better. And if she doesn't, it doesn't bring her down, and she is more than willing to keep going and keep practicing to get herself where she wants to be.
Awesome. What do you do in terms of setting out goals for yourself for the season? There's so many things in golf you can't control.
Yeah, exactly.
Certainly the weather's one of them, right? But, it's a sport it's not about how good your good shots are, it's how good your bad shots are, right?
Yeah.
And trying to figure out ways to not have too many really tough holes over the course of a round. How do you go about setting goals for yourself?
So for me, I try to not, especially in the spring when the conditions are definitely a lot worse than they are in the fall.
Sure.
I try to not set super unrealistic goals for myself, because at least for me personally, I average around low 90s, high 80s. So I don't try and tell myself, okay, I'm going to go out today and shoot an 80,
right,
because that's not super realistic. If it happens, that's awesome, but I try and set realistic goals to where I can go out and make those goals and be proud of myself. And even if I don't make those, it's not the end of the world, and I just need to keep practicing and keep trying my best.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Well, we're really proud of you, and hope that it's a fun, long season for you where you get a chance to play as many scheduled rounds as possible.
Thanks.
And,
Same.
And I know that you guys are building up toward competing in the OAC Championships, and hopefully we'll check in with you before then.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Leah Metzger of our women's golf team here at BW. Certainly enjoyed that visit and looking forward to having a chance to connect